Welcome to Conversations with Candidates. I'm Thor Jourgensen, news editor of the Daily Item at itemlive.com. Our guest is Ann Manning Martin, Republican candidate for Essex Sheriff. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Would you please tell us about yourself and why you were running for sheriff?
Yes, absolutely. My name is Ann Manning Martin, and I'm a resident of Peabody, right next door. And I have 25 years experience in corrections with an undergraduate degree from St. Anselm College and a graduate degree in criminal justice administration from UMass Lowell. And I've, as I said, have been working 25 years in corrections. I started off as a caseworker, then I was an HIV counselor, and then I worked my way up through the ranks to classification supervisor, to director of treatment, to my current position now with the Department of Correction as a deputy superintendent, where I oversee prisons and I manage hundreds of correction offices and correctional staff, programming, operations, budgets, and hold staff and inmates accountable.
Where do you work out of?
Right now, I am at the Shattuck Hospital Correctional Unit, which is located in Jamaica Plain in a public hospital, which has a locked unit of probably 29 beds where inmates get medical services. But also, what's important about that operation is there is an outpatient clinic, whereas inmates come from across the state to get their health care on a daily basis. So throughout the year, 10,000 inmates come in for clinics, operations, any type of medical services that they need. So it's important that we run a tight ship there, everybody comes in safely, gets their health care, and then safely returns back to their place of incarceration throughout the state, depending on whatever facility that is. And it's inmates of all levels of security, minimum, maximum.
Why are you running for sheriff?
That's a great question, and the reason I'm running for sheriff is, aside from the fact that I've studied this has been my career for 25 years, I've also been in elected office in the city of Peabody for 17 years. I served 8 years on the school committee, and currently I'm a counselor at large, and I've been doing that for 9 years. So I understand as an elected official that I answer directly to the voters and to the taxpayers. As a sheriff, you're elected as well. So I understand already that I would answer directly to the voters and the taxpayers. The sheriff's position is so powerful that it's important that you have the right person with the right experience, the right temperament to lead the department forward in the direction that it has been going in the last 20 years. And as sheriff, you make things happen. And I want to make things happen. I want to continue to help my community. I want to address the opioid epidemic. And I want to make healthier communities throughout the 34 cities and towns of Essex County. And I can give you an example of how to make things happen. Sheriff Frank Cousins, he looked at his population. He saw that his incarcerated, his sentenced population was going down, as it is across the state, but his pre-sentenced inmate population was going up. So he looked at those numbers, and he saw a need in his community because he is an elected official who knows he needs to keep his finger on the pulse of what's going on in his community. So what he did was he saw an opportunity to provide detox beds, 84 of them. That is unbelievable because there is such a need in our communities to address that addiction, and we haven't been providing that in our communities. So he saw a need and he's providing it. He made it happen. He did that because he doesn't have to answer to the governor. He doesn't have to answer to a mayor. He doesn't have to answer to a city council. The sheriff's position is that important and that powerful that you can make good things happen. And that's why I want to run for sheriff. I want to make good things happen. I want to provide services to those that need it. And I want to promote public safety throughout Essex County because I've studied it, I provided it, it's been my career, and that's why I want to be the sheriff, because I know I'll do a good job. I've got the education, the experience, and the know-how to work with people, budgets. I've been doing it for 25 years. That's why I want to be sheriff. That's why I'm running.
It is your view that the Sheriff's Department can have a direct impact on the opioid crisis that everyone is being hit by?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, as I said, Sheriff Frank Cousins saw the lack of community detox centers, provided a space and program for that. The Sheriff's Department and the Sheriff as well supplements and assists law enforcement agencies throughout the 34 cities and towns, whether it be on the drug task force, whether it be assisting with canine operation. And that's the job of the sheriff, to promote public safety and assist local law enforcement and communities how they need the help. When the Sheriff's Department and the sheriff is called, he or she, in my case, will continue to provide those services. You stay in your lane, you work within the correctional system and your prisons, you hold everyone, inmates and staff, accountable in the prisons, in the prison system, and you enforce the laws that have been imposed by judges that these folks complete their sentences. But you also help out local law enforcement when called upon, and you provide services to assist them as they need it. But you do stay in your lane because you don't want to step on toes and impede investigations. You supplement and assist local law enforcement.
What other point would you like to stress in relation to your campaign for sheriff?
I'd like to stress that I have a lot of ideas to implement some programs that are proven to work. And it's important that we don't reinvent the wheel, that we implement programs that work, and that they're data-driven and evidence-based programming. And there are plenty of programs that are out there that do just that. And what they do is reduce recidivism, because we need to run an effective, efficient operation that reduces recidivism, because if we just reduce recidivism by 5% across the state, we save millions and millions of dollars that can be better spent by providing mental health and substance abuse programming in the community to keep people out of prison. Because our criminal justice system has evolved to what it is today because of the lack of substance abuse and mental health treatment in our communities. So we need to get back to that, to provide it there so that folks can stay in the community with their families and out of prison. It costs $50,000 a year to incarcerate an individual on average. It's a lot of money, and if we can keep them out, it makes for healthier communities, healthier families. It promotes public safety to keep people out of prison with programs in place and provide post-release supervision to help them stay on track and to work again with your local communities in order to do that.
This has been Conversations with Candidates. Our guest is Republican candidate for sheriff Ann Manning Martin. I'm Thor Jourgensen, news editor of the Daily Item and itemlive.com. Don't forget to vote on Thursday, September 8th. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Thor.
Appreciate
Thank you
your
for
time.
having me. Thank you, Lynn.